Are you over 60 and currently using a vitamin D3 and K2 combination because you've heard it's beneficial for your bones, heart, or immune system? Take a moment to reconsider. Imagine if the supplement you rely on is subtly straining your kidneys at this very moment, without any pain, without any warning, and without your awareness. This may come as a surprise, but it's the truth. Everywhere you look, supplements are celebrated, from wellness articles to doctors' offices. However, they might be putting stress on the very organs that activate them. This isn't due to their authenticity or effectiveness, but rather because the biology at play is far more intricate than most people realize. Vitamin D3 and K2 are frequently promoted as an ideal duo. One draws calcium into the body, while the other is designed to direct it precisely where it needs to go. On the surface, that seems perfect, but within an aging body, particularly after the age of 60, that equilibrium starts to waver. When it falters, the kidneys often bear the brunt of the impact. Here's a paradox that often goes unnoticed. As you age, the emphasis on incorporating supplements for your well-being becomes increasingly prominent. However, the organs tasked with processing those supplements are beginning to slow down. The space between your intake and your body's capacity for safe processing is where unnoticed harm starts to occur. This video explores that gap. Discover the reasons why vitamin D3 and K2 can transition from beneficial to detrimental, particularly for those over 60. It's a discussion on how a daily supplement for bone strength can subtly overwhelm the system responsible for filtering your blood, regulating minerals, and activating vitamin D from the outset. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button for this channel right now. These videos are designed for those who want to avoid the pitfalls of hidden health mistakes that could haunt them in the future. For insightful, biology-driven insights that empower you to steer clear of subtle yet significant risks. Ensure you're subscribed to stay updated on what's coming next. To grasp how vitamin D3 can subtly lead to kidney issues, it's essential to first comprehend the process by which vitamin D activates within your body. Many individuals are unaware that swallowing a D3 pill doesn't instantly benefit your bones or immune system. At that moment, it is completely inactive. The journey starts in your skin as sunlight activates the production of vitamin D, or it can begin with the intake of a supplement. Next, vitamin D makes its way to the liver. The liver transforms it into a storage form known as 25-hydroxyvitamin D. This is the figure that physicians typically assess during a blood test. Yet this format still falls short of delivering the true results. It's just the groundwork. The ultimate and most essential phase takes place in your kidneys. Your kidneys transform stored vitamin D into its active form, 125-dihydroxyvitamin D. This hormone-like signal directs your intestines on calcium absorption, instructs your bones when to release calcium, and impacts countless cellular processes across your body. Without the activation of the kidneys, vitamin D remains ineffective. The kidneys are far more than mere passive filters. They serve as dynamic overseers. Each day, they determine the activation level of vitamin D, regulate the amount of calcium that enters your bloodstream, and decide how much should be excreted. By increasing your intake of D3, you're doing much more than simply bolstering your bone health. Your kidneys are facing an increased workload. Discover the crucial detail that nearly every supplement label overlooks. As D3 intake increases, the kidneys are tasked with the crucial job of enhancing their efforts to convert, regulate, and manage calcium levels effectively. When calcium levels increase, the kidneys are the primary organs tasked with managing the surplus. This is reality. This is fundamental physiology. Now, let's incorporate age into the equation. As we age past 60, our kidney function experiences a natural decline. Blood flow to the kidneys slows down, leading to less efficient filtration, and the margin for error diminishes. A dosage that was manageable at 50 can turn into a source of stress at 65 when consumed daily over months or years. Long-term use of D3 begins to transition from supportive to risky territory. This shift isn't due to any inherent issues with vitamin D itself, but rather because the kidneys are increasingly tasked with managing more calcium than they can effectively handle over time. The mounting pressure paves the way for the unfolding events as calcium regulation starts to falter, leading to damage that quietly takes hold long before symptoms become apparent to most. After the kidneys activate vitamin D3, its main role becomes unmistakably defined. This enhances the absorption of calcium from your intestines directly into your bloodstream. This is mandatory. D3 is precisely crafted for this purpose. A stronger active D3 signal leads to increased calcium absorption from both food and supplements. Issues arise when absorption surpasses control. Calcium is an essential element that the body cannot overlook or eliminate effortlessly. This mineral boasts impressive hardness. Upon entering the bloodstream, it must be utilized, stored, redirected, or eliminated. It's always on. When additional calcium is introduced, the body can effectively manage its distribution. The responsibility swiftly transitions to the kidneys. This is the point where the widely held notion that more equates to better falls apart entirely. Simply increasing your D3 intake won't automatically lead to stronger bones. It enhances calcium flow. If the traffic surpasses the capacity of bones, blood vessels, and regulatory proteins, the surplus calcium continues to circulate. When it lacks a constructive outlet, it finds itself in locations that were never intended for its accumulation. At that moment, the kidneys spring into action, taking on the vital role of cleanup. They must extract calcium from the bloodstream, concentrate it in the urine, and eliminate it from the body. This elevates the filtration pressure within the small kidney structures that play a crucial role in purifying your blood. As time goes on, that pressure builds up, leading to stress, irritation, and tiny injuries at a microscopic level. This marks the beginning of kidney strain. Calcium overload often goes unnoticed. It arrives without the jarring sting or abrupt downfall. It develops subtly. Just a bit more calcium today, followed by a bit more tomorrow. With each passing day and month, the benefits accumulate. The kidneys, in contrast to muscles, do not gain strength through overuse. They deteriorate over time. Here's the reason excess calcium doesn't just vanish. It remains intact. It remains intact. It builds up. The extended use of D3 at doses beyond the body's regulatory capacity means the kidneys must work harder for a longer period to maintain balance. Now is the time for you to pause and focus. If you're over 60 and take daily vitamins, it's crucial not to rely on assumptions. Join our community by subscribing to this channel today. Many individuals only realize these errors once blood tests reveal abnormalities or symptoms begin to manifest. To grasp the risks before they escalate, ensure you're subscribed so you won't miss what's on the horizon. Vitamin K2 is frequently hailed as the answer to the calcium dilemma. K2 indeed plays a significant biological role. This process triggers the activation of key proteins, including osteocalcin and matrix GAA protein, which play a crucial role in directing calcium to bones and teeth, while effectively preventing its accumulation in soft tissues, such as arteries and kidneys. K2 is often referred to as the traffic controller of calcium for good reason. When the system achieves balance, this functions effectively. Calcium flows into the bloodstream, guided by K2-dependent proteins to strengthen bones, while excess calcium is carefully redirected to prevent potential harm. The perfect scenario that everyone envisions when discussing the pairing of D3 with K2. However, this is the point where the narrative of marketing concludes and the realm of biology begins. K2 has a finite capacity. It doesn't function as an emergency brake. It doesn't immediately counteract the influx of excess calcium entering the bloodstream. The effectiveness is influenced by timing, dosage, liver function, and the rate at which calcium enters the system. If the balance between D3 and K2 is disrupted, the system experiences an overload. Elevated levels of D3 can accelerate the influx of calcium into the bloodstream beyond the capacity of K2-regulated proteins to manage. As traffic continues to rise, the number of lanes remains unchanged. When calcium builds up, K2 can't simply redirect it all to the bones. This holds particular significance for senior individuals. As we age, the activation of proteins diminishes, liver efficiency wanes, and kidney clearance becomes increasingly less accommodating. While K2 may be present, it might struggle to match the rapid pace set by a consistent daily intake of aggressive D3. This is the key misconception. K2 does not guarantee complete safety. This is not an invitation to increase your D3 dosage indefinitely. When D3 levels rise excessively, K2 fails to prevent calcium from flooding the system. At that stage, surplus calcium keeps flowing through the system, compelling the kidneys to deal with the repercussions. Here's why depending on K2 as a safeguard can be precarious. It operates effectively within certain boundaries. When those thresholds are exceeded, the responsibility returns to the organs, tasked with managing the excess, marking the onset of the next phase of kidney strain. When excess calcium remains in the bloodstream, it won't stay dissolved indefinitely. As time passes, tiny quantities start to settle and create minuscule crystals. These crystals are small enough that they won't trigger immediate pain, unlike a kidney stone. Instead, they settle discreetly within the small tubes of the kidneys, which play a crucial role in filtering your blood and concentrating urine. The condition referred to here is nephrocalcinosis. It begins at a scale so minuscule that it goes unnoticed. Calcium deposits accumulate on the inner surfaces of the kidney's filtering units, constricting the pathways that fluids need to traverse. As deposits build up, blood flow efficiency declines. Filtration pressure increases, and kidney tissue experiences irritation. The irritation sets off inflammation. Immune cells are on the move. Swelling occurs next. As time goes by, the filters start to harden, and gradually the kidney's capacity to eliminate waste, manage minerals, and maintain fluid balance diminishes. It's a subtle shift, insufficient to raise immediate concerns or necessitate a trip to the emergency room, but significant enough to quietly alter the way the system operates. This is the reason the initial phases are frequently overlooked. The signs are subtle and often overlooked. Be aware of signs like heightened thirst, more trips to the bathroom at night, unexplained fatigue, or an uneasy feeling that something isn't quite right. Commonly attributed to the effects of aging, stress, or inadequate sleep, these signals can be misleading. The true reason lies beneath the surface. The damage remains invisible until a significant amount of tissue has been impacted. When imaging tests uncover calcium specks or lab results start to shift, it's often the case that the process has been in motion for quite some time. Nephrocalcinosis unfolds subtly, without fanfare or forewarning, often unnoticed by many. Even as a daily supplement, regimen quietly influences its course. This is a tangible risk that demands attention. Healthcare professionals are increasingly encountering real patients, particularly older adults, who are experiencing kidney stress due to prolonged high-dose vitamin D3 usage. A notable case highlighted a man in his 60s who had been consuming between 8,000 and 12,000 international units of vitamin D daily for several months. He thought he was safeguarding his bones. Instead, he gradually elevated his calcium levels beyond what his body could manage. Initially, everything appeared quite ordinary. He experienced an unusual level of fatigue. He realized he was waking up at night to use the bathroom more frequently. He experienced an unrelenting thirst. The urgency of these changes was lacking, leading to their neglect. Upon conducting the blood tests, doctors discovered a critical case of hypercalcemia, alongside a notable decline in kidney function. Weeks of intensive medical intervention were required to stabilize his condition, yet his kidneys did not achieve full recovery. This pattern keeps occurring. Medical centers, including leading institutions, have recorded instances where high vitamin D consumption resulted in increased calcium levels, dehydration, electrolyte imbalances, and kidney damage. Damage takes time to unfold. It builds up gradually, one capsule at a time, until the kidneys reach their limit. The early warning signs can be incredibly subtle, making this particularly perilous for seniors. Chronic thirst is frequently attributed to arid conditions or the effects of certain medications. Nighttime urination is often dismissed as a typical part of aging. Fatigue and muscle weakness are often brushed aside as mere signs of aging. When these symptoms manifest simultaneously, they may indicate that calcium is moving too freely in the body and that the kidneys are having difficulty eliminating it. In their quest to uncover the truth behind these cases, doctors turn to precise blood markers, delving deep to reveal the underlying conditions at play. Assessing 25-hydroxyvitamin D reveals the levels of vitamin D stored within the body. Assessing blood calcium levels indicates if regulation has been compromised. Creatinine and blood urea nitrogen, BUN, serve as key indicators of the kidney's efficiency in filtering waste from the body. Parathyroid hormone, commonly known as PTH, plays a crucial role in assessing the body's efforts to adjust to irregular calcium levels. When these figures begin to trend downward, it unmistakably indicates that the system is experiencing stress. By the time these abnormalities manifest, the underlying process has typically been in development for several months. This is the reason why depending solely on your feelings is insufficient. When the issue finally comes to light, the kidneys have been under strain for quite some time. Safely incorporating vitamin D3 and K2 is not about increasing dosages or seeking immediate outcomes. It's all about operating within the biological limits that your kidneys can manage. Most adults should typically limit their daily intake of vitamin D3 to under 4,000 international units, unless they are under the supervision of a doctor who is monitoring their blood levels. Exceeding that limit without oversight leads to calcium absorption levels that the body struggles to manage effectively, particularly over extended durations. Vitamin K2 is effective even in lower doses, proving that less can indeed be more. A steady and moderate intake is sufficient to trigger the activation of calcium-regulating proteins. Increasing your K2 intake won't negate the effects of too much D3. It functions solely within a harmonious framework. Excessive D3 intake can lead to calcium overload in the kidneys, and unfortunately, K2 alone cannot provide complete protection. Some individuals should refrain from using a D3 and K2 combination unless they have received medical clearance. If you're over 60, have kidney disease, or are on medications like diuretics or proton pump inhibitors, you need to be extra cautious. The way these factors influence mineral processing heightens the chances of calcium accumulation rather than its elimination. In such situations, even the most routine supplement regimens can turn into a source of stress when taken consistently over months. The importance of diet and hydration cannot be overstated. Sunlight is a natural and reliable source for boosting your vitamin D levels, as your body expertly manages its production. Fatty fish, fortified dairy, eggs, and aged cheeses deliver essential nutrients while keeping the system balanced. Proper hydration is essential. Fluid is essential for the kidneys to effectively eliminate excess minerals and maintain optimal filtration pressure. When water is scarce, calcium accumulates more quickly, leading to increased stress levels sooner. The message is clear and unwavering. Supplements aren't inherently safe. When utilized with precision, they provide essential support to the body. When used casually, they place additional demands on organs that are already experiencing the effects of aging. Maintaining safe levels, prioritizing hydration, and recognizing when combination supplements may not be suitable are essential to prevent D3 and K2 from becoming a kidney issue. Let's finalize this with clarity. The issue at hand was never the vitamins themselves. Vitamin D3 and vitamin K2 are allies, not foes. These nutrients are not just vital, they are formidable assets, and with great power comes great responsibility. The core concern revolves around dosage, ratio, and the capability of your kidneys, at your current age, to effectively process what you're providing them on a daily basis. As we age past 60, our bodies process minerals differently than they did at 40. The filtration process in the kidneys experiences a slowdown. Calcium clearance shows reduced tolerance. A supplement routine that once seemed innocuous can subtly evolve into a strain on your biology. Not in an instant, not with bold signs, but slowly, quietly, one capsule at a time. This is the point where numerous individuals often go astray. The label inspires confidence. They have confidence in the reputation. There's a common belief that if a product is available over the counter, it can be taken safely in any amount. Biology operates differently. Supplements are impartial to your intentions. They react to chemistry. When consumption surpasses the kidney's capacity to manage, the strain intensifies internally, and the harm accumulates uninvited. Grasp this concept, and it transforms your perspective on every pill you consume. Supplements do not offer inherent protection. These are signals. When signals become excessively strong, overly frequent, or unbalanced, they compel aging organs to adapt. Organs such as the kidneys tend to remain silent in their distress. They fade away silently. Understanding your body is far more important than placing your trust in a bottle. Before placing your trust in another supplement stack, it's essential to grasp how your organs truly manage it. This awareness is the key to preventing silent damage long before it appears on a lab report. If you're 55 or older and want to steer clear of health pitfalls that many only realize when it's too late, subscribe to this channel today. These videos are designed to empower you with a deeper understanding of your biology, ensuring it works for you, not against you. Keep your subscription active, stay in the loop, and ensure your decisions align with your body rather than silently exhausting it.